was a very interesting time in my husband's life. Please watch the video and he explains why.
You could say the next phase of Kurt's life as a chef started because of his brother.
I got in the restaurant business because I was challenged also by my younger brother. He had a restaurant in Stockholm, so I want to do better. I want to prove my parents that I can do better than him. And then also, that's when your ego overtakes your senses. You walk away from a comfortable job and go open your own restaurant. And I opened it on a shoestring. And it was on Peachy Parkway in Spalding. The first place was called Kurt's Cuisine.
It took a lot of work, and he had to unlearn a few habits.
85, the dining scene changed, and I was not as worse was really what's going on because I was too entrenched working at the club and serving the members. It changed that people wanted to be dining more casual. And so when I first opened my place, we were strict. You had to wear a jacket to eat there because I was influenced by some club members. So we were successful, by the same token, place down the road on Peachy Parkway was more successful because they served and they let people come in casual. So eventually we got a hold of that, so to speak. We kind of toned down, and it's the interesting part is we got a good amount of club members, and ironically, going back to the Red Barn Inn time, I had members, guests, which were kind of pain in the neck. But what I try to tell my employees, you don't look at that. You look at that each individual to manage him or take care of him or her the best way possible, because you never know when you get the payback.
But that doesn't make it easy.
Scott Hutchins, he lived out here. And he was a member at London Athletic Club. So he was a regular customer of mine. He owned a place was called River Manor, which was across the street. The person who operated it didn't treat him right. They didn't pay the rent or whatever. So one time he came to the restaurant and he said, I said to him, well, when the River Manor ever will become available, I'd be interested. A week later he came, Kurt, I'll be there at 2 o'clock, I need to talk to you. And he offered me to take over the River Manor next week. I said, what can I do? I cannot do that. I don't have the cash money to operate 2 restaurants. I have a contract here. So he offered me a deal which I couldn't refuse, because he said, you take over the River Manor, you pay me, you deduct from the rent from the River Manor whatever you have to pay for the place you're in till you sell this place. So how could you refuse? Scott Hutchins was an old-fashioned businessman, and a handshake was the deal. So we had a patio area at the River Manor. We closed it in, and we made it Freni's Beer Garden. And Freni's Beer Garden was his own operation. Alex managed that, and he had his own kitchen. They had nothing to do directly with Kurt's. And then later on, Scott Hutchins added me a 100-seat banquet hall, so we ended up We ended up with probably 350 seats all over, altogether. So we did quite well, and I wanted to buy the place because I paid big rent, and Scott Hudson wouldn't sell it to me. He was a great businessman until he sold most of the property in a River Green area because he wanted to have control of the restaurant, because the restaurant was a selling point for the offices.
Kurt may have opened a restaurant because he wanted to outshine his brother, but he was rewarded for taking that risk with bigger and better opportunities than he could have ever imagined.